In a world where 40 players, 10 teams, 8 games go head to head in the biggest Minecraft event in the world, I present Minecraft Championship. Minecraft Championship, or better known as MCC, is the biggest Minecraft event in the world, hosting some of the biggest gaming names in history, such as Technoblade, Ludwig, Tubbo, and many, many, many more. Now, what would it look like if I ever got the chance to host an MCC? Let's see. The games I would pick for this event would be as followed. Bingo But Fast, a fast version of the classic Capture the Objective game, where Minecraft knowledge is put to the test, where you and your team must complete or find the block or item and collect a bingo. Will you complete the whole board? Meltdown, a team-based PvP game where players are armed with only a map, bow, and heater, then must collect coin crates while the map slowly melts down and pushes all the teams into the center room. Good luck. Rocket Spleef Rush, a PvP minigame hybrid where the aim is to survive as long as possible. You are aimed with a rocket launcher and must blast off while fighting other players with rockets that will destroy the arenas. As time goes by, a new platform will spawn as the old one will be destroyed. Try not to fall into the void. Sands of Time, a dungeon explorer game where all the teams are put into their own labyrinth and must collect 3 keys to open up vaults and passageways to add to their bank. They must as well collect sand to keep your timer up. Make sure you escape in time. Battle Box, a round-robin PvP game where the goal is to eliminate other players and capture the center objective in the middle of the map per each round. Ace Race, a racing game where you must traverse through different areas and obstacles and make sure you take some shortcuts along the way. Sky Battle, a team-based PvP battle royale taking place in the sky. Played amongst 3 rounds, you must be aware of your surroundings, collect loot, and make your way to the middle while eliminating all other teams. Parkour Tag, a movement game based off the game Tag, where the runners have to avoid the hunter actively trying to chase them. This game is played against every team, and hopefully you make the leap to victory. And last but not least, the top 2 teams will go head to head in Dodgebolt. Given with the name, Dodgebolt is a classic take on the game Dodgeball, where the teams are given a bow and arrows will spawn, and the opponents must dodge the arrow, while the platform slowly shrinks until there's only one true winner. Let's look at the teams for this event. Hey everybody, so this is now part of the video where I just get to yap. I'm going to try not to yap for too long this time, but this is the Red Rabbit that consists of Ant Frost, Greninja, Shireo, and Jazzybug. Again, this is a roster of people I have contact with and people who I think I can realistically have contact with. This is a team of course, Shireo and Jazzybug are my 2 close friends. Ant Frost and Stu, Jazzy and Shy. I know that for as a fact, Shy has connections with Stu. I know that Jazzy has connections with both Ant and Stu and has, been on teams with them. So this is just really more of... I feel like this was the team that I made first. I originally had this team being Insane Orbit, Stu, Melissa, and Shireo, but then I realized Mel probably couldn't play because she's part of the Nox crew, and the Nox crew run MCC. But this was, still a team that I made, firsthand. It is a bit more on the stronger side, seeing how this team has one of the only actual MCC players, being Ant Frost. But who knows? I feel like this team is still gonna do pretty well. Now you get to my team, which consists of the Orange Ocelots, which consists of myself, Plushy33, Bears Cancelled, and Avery Doris. As you will also come to find out, is this roster will have a lot of MCC Rising players because I already have connections with a lot of them. And plus, I feel like if I were to actually host an MCC, just like kind of, with Ender Cup or Minecraft, like the game X MCC, it would have to be a very certain roster. So I thought I'd probably just, throw in a lot of Rising players. I know for a fact I know of Plushie, I know Bear personally, I know Avery personally, I know Bear knows Plushie, Avery knows Bear, and myself. I'm not sure how much Plushie would know this team, but I know that me and him are on the same age. I think we would get along well. This is also a Bedrockers team, because Plushie and Bear are actually they're actually on the Blue Bedrockers. I know Avery does majority Bedrock content. I actually started out doing Bedrock content under a different name. But, I feel like this team, this is probably a fifth, a fourth placing team. I don't know. I think I'm going to get probably a higher end of top 10. So, 30th. I think Plushie is going to do lower half of bottom 10. So, I don't know. I think that we're going to be a very middle of the pack team. This is the Yellow Yaks that consist of Rasplin, Bradley Guy, O Solar, and Nix Seminari. Nix is a person who I do not have contact with. I have contact with the other three. Again, Solar is one of my good friends. I talk to Bry not often, but here and there. And Rasplin is a person who I've added on Discord. He added me back, and he was in my event. This is a team of people who have never played MCC in any way, like no Twitch rivals, no Pride events, no Rising. This is a whole team of newcomers, but they're all pretty good newcomers. I think this team could get a top 3 potential, depending on if they, do team practice or not. But I think this team is going to do pretty well. Solar said that this team of his friends, so that's always a good vibe. I don't know. I feel like this team has a pretty good chance of doing top half, but I feel like it's going to be like my team, which should be a more, I think that this team has a higher chance than my team. Like, say our team gets, 5th place. I think this team's going to get, a 3rd or 4th place. But yeah. This is the Lime Llamas that consist of with Mayax, Lynx Helium, Captain Ajax, and Debbie Morales. This is actually a team of people who I have majority connections. I'm currently actively trying to get in contact with Lynx Liam, but I have contact with May and Ajax and Debbie. This team is actually kind of pretty strong from what, Shai pointed out. May and Liam both played in MCC Rising. I think May got top 10. I think Liam was like top 15. But again, that wasn't Rising, but that does also add to the experience, because I want this to be an event where a majority of people who normally wouldn't get a chance to play MCC would get in and would make make sense to be there. AJX is, of course, a very well-known person. I know he's around in the community a lot. I know he hosts Heart of a Hero. I've talked to him about that before. Debbie is also, around a lot. I know Debbie recently played in, was it Biome Battle? It was a Biome Battle Mini. I don't remember which one, 3 or 4, if I'm not mistaken. I think 3? Who knows? But I know that, Debbie just, fits his vibe a lot. Debbie and Ajax together as a duo makes sense. May and Liam as a duo makes sense. Just overall, I think this is a pretty well-rounded team. This is the Green Geckos that consist of Mr. Proz, Tall433, Lynn Rose, and Bubble Brook. This team falls more into the end of people who I've tried my hardest to get into contact with. I don't talk to Toph, that often. I actually don't think I've ever talked to him, but I know for a fact I have connections to him. Because again, he's in the private game net server. Mr. Pros is a person who I've spoken to plenty of times before. I think that Pros makes the most sense to be in MCC out of all the more smaller creators. I don't know why. I think he fits the vibe pretty well. I know him and Mel, I think, just recently teamed in an A event. I don't remember exactly which one. Toph, overall, again, he's just a good player to have in. Not realistically speaking, I think Toph should get top 3. Linrose and the Bubble Brook both played in MCC Rising 2, I believe. Brooke is a person who I've had, I think, since my PB video. Brooke is a person who I want to get in contact with. I haven't tried yet. That's only because I don't know what I would contact her for. I know I have a few upcoming, new video ideas that do involve more people. And I think Linrose just, fits the vibe here. I think that this team is going to do more 6 players, only because their only, standout player is Toph. So, respectfully, of course, I think Toph's going to get top 10, but I think that the rest of the team is going to fall under 20th. So, who knows? This is the Coyotes that consist of Katie Gobert, Mortings, Lidray, and Lazies. Apologies, for the stutter. Katie has played in Rising, so has Lydia or Lidray. This is a team. I know Lazies. I've spoken to Lydia before. I know that we are friends on Discord. I've spoken to Tings, I think, one time, and Katie, I think I probably could get in contact with. I feel like this team is kind of just like the Lime team. This is more of an overall team that doesn't really have a standout player. I think Katie got top. I know for a fact that Katie got top half in Rising. I'm not sure exactly where. Tings is for sure not a bad player. I think Lydia top fragged her team. She was on the green team or lime team. I think she was on the green team. I think that she might have got 20th top fragging her team. But I also think it was a 7th placing team, so 20th was really good. And Lazy's is not at all bad. From what I'm told, me and her are pretty comparable. But in my mind, I think she's slightly better. So again, if I'm gonna get 29th, 30th, I think that she can get 28th, 7th. I think Katie's gonna do 10th, 12th. So again, I feel like this is just another overall all-rounded team. This is the Aqua Oxalatos that consists of just Dash, Kaylin, Insane Orbits, and Lathema. But before anyone says anything, I know that Kaylin is a tester, but I do believe that if I had to get a certain roster, I would try to talk to Mel or somebody about letting Kaylin play. I don't know why he wouldn't. I think that Kaylin's going to be a top 10 placing player because he is a tester. I know that in average events he gets normally lower end of top 10. So I do believe he's going to get 5th here if I had to take a guess. Besides Toph Plushies up there, I think. And this show up there, Steve's up there. Who knows? I think. Sorry, I got I sat up in my chair. Sorry. I think Orbits is gonna do pretty well. I think Orbits normally does right above the middle of the pack. I don't know how well Dash is for sure, but I think in my mind I feel like Dash is gonna get 25th. Or around that age. I think that respectfully, Athema is a bottom 5 player. Only from what I know, Athema has played in Mania, and I don't know. I think this is a team of just everybody knows Kaylin. I know that Orbits and Kaylin, obviously know each other. I know that Athema and Kaylin teamed in, I think, Mania or Minecraft Mania. I'm pretty sure Dash and Kaylin also teamed in Minecraft Mania, if I'm not mistaken. But I think this is gonna be another lower half placing team. I mean, who knows? this team could do, really well and like to pop off in some movement games because this is a pretty good, movement team as well. So who knows? But this is the Blue Bats that consist of not Justin, Carter Live, Onyx, and No Name. This is just a friends team. Carter and Onyx know each other. I feel like they are a pretty, at least from in my eyes. The first time I joined in Onyx stream, she and Carter were talking, I think. So in my eyes, I see them as a duo. I think Justin and Onyx know each other. I can almost guarantee that Justin and Carter know each other because of Minecraft Mayhem, Minecraft Mania, or it's even from something. No Name, I also just believe fits here pretty well. I feel like this is kind of the definition of a smaller event team. You have Carter, who I feel like all these players are pretty well known now within the smaller event community. Realistically speaking, I think that Carter's gonna do top 10 because Shy also brought up this point. It is gonna be a lot like MCC Island, which if you don't know, it is the public server for everybody to play. But Island only has 4 games out of like the actual MCC roster, or at least that I chose. I only chose 3 games because again, I wanted to give people a chance to not do Island stuff, to make it a new experience. So hopefully that also can bring out a bit more of a surprise in people. But I still believe that Carter's gonna do top 10. I think No Name is gonna be I think he's gonna be higher placing bottom 10, so 30th, 29th, 31st, in that range. But I don't know, I feel like this team is a very like in the middle of the pack 5th or 6th. I think we'll see this team pretty well. This is the Purple Pindos that consist of Ava JC, Nominal Gravy, Olive Hoodies, and Vintage Applesauce. This is a team where I don't really have connections with. I have connections with Ava. Me and Ava talk kind of often. I have connections with Olive Hoodies. But I think, again, this is a team that also, I feel like this team is going to do pretty well. I can't lie. Because Nominal and Vintage both played in MCC Rising. I think Vintage played in the most recent one, MCC Rising 3. I think Nominal played in MCC Rising 2. Nom is a pretty good player. Him and Olive should be, I honestly do believe that both of them have top 10 potential. I think that Vintage is going to be respectfully in the bottom 10, but I think more around the middle area of bottom 10. And I think Ava is going to do around 25th to 28th range. Like, Ava is for sure, not a bad player. From what I know Olive is a pretty good, end game later. And honestly, I think that Olive could honestly top frag this team. I do have Nom, top fragging. It goes, so the way I do fragging, if you can't tell, is I, normally go in the left center first frag, right center second frag, all the way to the left side third frag, all the way to the right side bottom frag. I don't know why. That's just how I feel like it should be, set up. But this team, again, I think this team is going to be right above Blue Team. If not, this team's going to get, 3rd place. I mean, who knows? But, and last but not least, we have the Pink Parents who consist of Fanity, Abolish Regret, Twiggy, and Moxie. This is a team of, this is kind of a Block Wars Brawl-esque from Fanity, Abolish, and Twiggy. I already had Abolish, Twiggy, and Fanity on this team. Honestly, Moxie was the last person addition. I've spoken to Abolish and Twiggy before. They're both, really cool people. I think Abolish is going to do a plushie, kind of be a lower, bottom 10, but I do think that Twiggy's going to be a top 15. Excuse me. So I, do believe that this team is going to do pretty well. I know that Fanity I think that Fanity and Ava are also going to be pretty close in comparison. So I think that Fantasy is going to do around 25th, 28th range. I think Moxie is going to be more like in the middle of the bottom 10. Realistically, I don't know how good Moxie is, but from what I've seen from her team wise or their team, I'm not sure. I apologize if I'm wrong, but who knows? I think that this team has a pretty good chance of being top 3. I feel like a lot of these teams have a good chance. So I think that, honestly, if I'm gonna be real, I think that red team just kind of wins or is for sure gonna be in dodgeball. But besides that, it's anyone's guess. Who knows? You can guess. With that being said, make sure to leave a comment, down below. Let me hear your thoughts, and I will catch you all later. Please make sure to, like and subscribe. I hope you all have a good morning, evening, or night, and I will catch you all on the flip side. See ya.